Now I'm about to make a very expensive trip to the chrome platers to get mainly the window pieces chromed. Now, one of these jobs I've put off for a while is preparing these pieces to actually take to the chromers, because you can't take them with the windows in them. So this is just the passenger quarter window at the rear. I've got this one out. The construction of this is such that you have a chrome piece on the end here, which is held in by 4 screws. There's the corresponding bit that it screws into, goes inside that, and then that goes inside that, and then there are 4 screws in there. Now if everything goes easily, which it never does, it's just a case of undoing those screws and pulling that end piece off. Of course, nothing ever works that easy. 2 of the screws basically on this side, I got this off, that was fine, but the 1 screw here and 1 screw over there holding the bracket in, this L-shaped bracket, they wouldn't come out. So it took a while to actually remove those. They were part undone for some reason, but they were frozen in place. I couldn't get the screwdriver to undo them without completely butchering them, but I managed to get the head of a pair of pliers on and undo them, so that came off. Having done that, then it's the job of getting the window out. Now the window, let's say, sits inside this frame. There's a rubber U-shape piece that goes around the edge of that, and then it slides in. Now it depends on how it was installed as to how easy it comes out. The other thing too is, I mean, this is getting close to 70 years it's been in there, so it just doesn't slide out. The only way to get it out is a very slow process of using one of these gem blades. You can see I've already busted a piece of this doing it, and working it under the rubber all the way around, and then trying to remove the glass without obviously breaking it. Now in the end, after a lot of freeing up of the gem blade on the gasket, the only way to move that out, as you can see that's where it sits in back there. The only way to move that was to actually hold the glass here. I've got a bit of flooring timber here, just laid that on the end there, and then gently, and I mean gently with the mallet, just put the mallet flat on the glass, and while holding that, stopping that from moving in that direction, gently tap that, and by tapping that it eventually moves obviously the fitting away from the glass, because you're holding the glass. Now that looks simple. That's one I've already taken out. The other one I'm still trying to get the L bracket off, because it's got, as you can guess, a couple of frozen screws that won't undo. Same problem on here. Now I've spent a long time with the gem blade trying to get the gem blade under that. There's very little room in this to get that in there. Once again, getting that on there, and what I've done with that is to get that there, and then the block alongside the gem blade, and then gently tap something against that to get it to go under, because it just won't easily slide under with your finger pressure. Now I think I've got that enough. So now what I'll do to get this out, and hopefully I don't break it in here. That's where I think it would be prone to break. I think I've freed it up enough. Now it's a case of, hopefully, if I hold the glass and gently tap that, it's started to move. I can see where it's freed up there, and it's come out a bit there, but it's not coming out on this end, so you need to get it out even, otherwise you run a risk of breaking it. Okay, it's starting to move on this side. It's got to come a lot more though. There it comes. Okay, that's how you get them out. Now I've been lucky, I've taken 1/4 window out, I've taken the rear one, I've taken now one front window out after a lot of effort. The rubber of course is still in there, so it depends on how it was installed. What I've seen is some of these have got a bit of sealant inside them to try and obviously keep the window in place and provide a weather seal. Some of them seem to have it all over the rubber. You can't even find the rubber in there, it's hardened up. And some of the rubbers have actually hardened up like this one. So I'm going to have to try and scrape that out if I can, to try and, because once again you send these to the chromers, you can't have any of this stuff left in place, otherwise they can't do their job. Yeah, anyway, I'll get that out. So that's how you get it out. I'll continue on and get the other ones out, and then I'll try and work on the windscreen. Similar process with the windscreen. I expect a lot of trouble getting the screws out of the windscreen, but I'll persist with this and I should be able to get this done. Right, I'm putting the actual windows back in the window frames. These are the rear, I don't know what you call them, quarters. It's good enough as a name. Had them re-chromed, and now I've got to put the seals back in. Now what I've bought is a roll of unvulcanized rubber. It comes in various widths. This is a particular one that I bought. What is it? 38mm wide. The has to be trimmed. What I've got to do is to fit this around the window, put the window in the frame, and then the way this eventually vulcanizes, according to the supplier, you just put the vehicle out in the sun and it'll harden up, which I assume is correct. It would probably also react to a bit of heat from a hairdryer, but I won't worry about that at this stage. I just tried a bit on an off-cut here and just applied a little bit of heat. It seems to stiffen up, so that's just with a hairdryer. But anyway, doesn't matter. It's a lot easier to put the windows in with a little bit of flexibility anyway. So I'm going to let the video run with this. It's a bit like watching paint dry, but I've done one after a few failures, so I know how it can be done, so I might as well show you. Slow process, and I'll just let the video run. I'll speed it up, but here we go. I've actually got it worked out. You've got to put the rubber around the window and then insert the window into the frame. So here we go. Now I apply a little bit of masking tape to hold the rubber in place. Now, you don't have to run that all the way around the window, but just in a few places to make sure it doesn't lift off while you're working on it. Okay, it's on. Doesn't look great, but it will go in. Okay, now I don't pull those tabs off just yet. I'll wait until I put the crossbar on. So that's how you get it in. I'll say it's in. I've got to trim it yet, but what I'll do, when I find the other piece, I've got it in here somewhere, I'll put the rubber on the end and I'll put that on. I've got these brackets to go in. Now these brackets go behind the rubber. Make sure you do that, otherwise there's a chance that the window might chip or shatter. So I've made sure all the screws fit in, so they're right. So I'll turn the video off, I'll put this on, screw that up, and then I'll show you basically the result. I'll have to trim the excess off once I've made sure the window's seated in properly. So I'll just turn the video off. Okay, I've just put the end bar on, and what you've got to do is make sure you've got the window positioned properly. What you have to do is to actually pull the window down into this end here, so it will move because this is not sealed yet. So that makes sure it's properly seated. Now all I've got to do is to go around and take all these off. Which are easy enough to do. And then trim the excess rubber off. Now this rubber seal is not vulcanized yet, so it's still soft and pliable. Get those off. Okay. Now, just have to make sure that the window is actually seated properly in the end frame here, because the glass is actually cut not straight along the edge, it's cut in a bit at each end to allow for the brackets. So I've pushed that back. Now it's just a case of trimming the excess off, which is not hard, just with a gem blade. Off. And that's it. It comes off quite neatly. Just take this other side off quickly. You don't have to worry about these catching up under the rim of the window, as long as you put them right at the edge. They're easy to pull off, even if they do go a little bit under. They come out all right. Okay, trim that one off. Okay, done. So window is now ready to install. I could put that out in the sun and that will harden up. I'm not sure whether I'll do that, but if I don't, I need to be conscious of the fact that this window can still move in the frame, and what I have to be careful of is that I didn't move the window back this way and out of the end joint there, because there is enough leeway in there for that to actually move quite a bit within the frame. And this end is a lot deeper. Anyway, so that's done. So that's how you do it. Simple when it's finished. Alright, now I've actually fitted this vent. The rubber goes on the same way. You tape it on and then you push it in. The problem is that these windows are a little bit more of a tighter fit than the rear quarter windows. So there's not a lot of gap between the window frame and the window itself. So it's very hard to force the rubber in. Now, what you need to do is to make sure that the window is fully in. Now, you might be able to see that. This is the outside of the window. There's the chrome strip. The window needs to be pretty well up against the edge of that chrome strip, it's a little bit proud there. I couldn't get it in any further, but it was very hard to push in. Basically, I had to put the window on a hard surface like that and push down that way, and also on a hard surface and push down that way, and even in that way. It took quite a lot of effort to force that window into that depth. Now, it was out probably, almost a quarter of an inch when I first tried to put it in. It didn't seem to want to go any further. but you need to keep forcing it to get it in place properly. But anyway, that is in. I now know how to do the next one and the problems I'll have. So, as I say, it's a much tighter fit in the frame. I mean, there's no rubber in that. Just seems to grab. So I'll do that one next. But anyway, that's complete. I've had the other windows in the sun. I even had that one in the sun the other day. So hopefully that's well and truly cured against the window. Anyway, that's it. So I'll proceed and I'll finish this, and then those windows are done.